Hey Monterey, as BC moves to the next phase of our response to the pandemic, we are really excited at the thought of having more of our students coming back into the school. And we're making this short video to give you a sense of what it's going to look like. So come on in and let's take a look together. So as you enter the school, you're going to notice that some things are a little bit different. And one of them is we've set up the school to allow for way better social physical distancing. The idea being that we all try to stay, as much as possible, 2 meters or more away from one another. And that'll help reduce the chance of anyone spreading this virus. So let's look at what that might look like. First, we put 2 meter sticks end to end and this tape along it to get a sense of what 2 meters looks like. The big thing, of course, is that we're only going to have small numbers of students returning at any one time. So some of you will come in the morning and some in a different afternoon and so on, spreading out those that are returning to school in June. What else can you expect? You can expect lots of signs as well as arrows, and we've made one-way tracks throughout the school. It looks a little bit like a racetrack, don't race, but it's kind of neat because that way you're not passing people in the hallways. Everybody's moving in one direction, and we're lucky at Monterey. The layout of the school lends itself to these loops. So that should work really well. Some of the signs you're going to see as you make your way around the school, first of all, where it says welcome, it says right here, students and staff go directly to their workspace and wash your hands. So for most of you, that's going to be your advisory classroom. Unless we tell you otherwise, you'll come in the school and you go straight to your advisory classroom, and luckily for us, all our classrooms have sink, we have soap dispensers, and we'll wash our hands thoroughly. And we'll do that lots throughout the day. I've been washing my hands so much more during the last few months, so we're all learning some good habits that way. You'll also see signs about social distancing throughout the school, and we're going to talk more about that as we move along. And I just want to point out, of course, Monterey's STORM acronym applies more so now than ever. Let's keep safe, think team, own our actions, show respect, and make a positive difference. And I really like this quote from Dr. Bonnie Henry. She's the public health officer who's been guiding the province through this pandemic, and she's the one who's guided the province to say the COVID numbers are low enough now that we can reopen our schools on a rotational basis where there's only small numbers in at any given time. And her quote that I really like says, "Be calm, be kind, and be safe." So let's walk through the school and see what it's going to look like. Come on. You'll notice that in some places we put green tape, just again to show you what 2 meters looks like in distance. So there's 2 meters. And we'll follow the blue arrows. And we're going to turn right here and do the one-way loop. Now normally you'd go right through to your classroom, and some of you will be going up that way to your advisory classroom. But for now we've set up the school for the exploratory wing. So I'm going to just take you down the exploratory wing so you can see what it looks like, and you can imagine what it'll look like in the other wings when you come in June. As we go by the office though, let's take a quick peek inside. You can see that if you needed to come to the office, again, there's social distancing set up. You wait here, that's what these circles are for. There's hand sanitizer because we don't have a sink in the office. And then you check in with the office. Maybe you need to see me and check in about something, or Ms. Phillip or Ms. Litton. So that's all set up. And if a second person had to wait, there's another line right there. But let's go back out, and I'm going to show you what it looks like as you go down the halls. So again, we're following the arrows, and we'll notice here that our water fountain is taped off. So we don't want multiple people touching the buttons of the water fountain or people putting their lips too close to the faucet. So we're going to ask everybody at this point to bring a full water bottle from home. So bring your own water bottle with you. That'll keep you hydrated throughout the day. All right, let's keep going. So of course, stay 2 meters apart is one thing, but Ms. Mastrello, being the artist, has much better ways of showing you that. So please stay 1 eagle wingspan apart, or 1 medium octopus length apart. So some of our students are already in the building and they've been working on this. We have some kids from some of our essential service workers who have been here on site this week, and they've already started working on some art that also helps us with social distancing. So we're going to go around the corner now following our arrows, and I'm going to show you what it looks like as you enter a classroom. if I'm headed to the home ec room, let's say I happen to be starting the day there, then I would just walk right in. What do I do first? I go straight to the sink, soap, water, wash my hands thoroughly, and then I can sit down at a table. And I'll show you what that looks like. And I can just walk right in, unless somebody's walking out. If somebody's walking out, we have this school procedure now. It says social distancing. Keep 2 meters between yourself and others. Before entering a room, yield to anyone who is exiting. So yield means, and your parents will know this because they drive, but yield means that if there's nobody there, you can just go straight through. But if somebody else is coming the other way, you need to wait. They have the right of way, and let them pass. So it's harder if you're in a classroom to move backwards if someone's coming in. It's much easier for those of us in the hallway. So those exiting a room have right of way, and those in the hallway will yield. So if I'm walking into the home ec room and somebody's walking out, I just back up. I have a spot marked right here. I wait for them. They're going to go that way because they're in the one-way loop. And as they go by, now I can enter the room. And let's take a look at what a typical classroom will look like. It's a little different because it's the home ec room. But you get the idea. Rather than multiple people at a table, we just have one at each table, and the tables are well set apart. So you're going to find that in your classroom as well, that there's going to be desks or tables set further apart and only a small number of students in the classroom. So you can see this room can fit 8 people well socially distanced. And that'll be similar in your classrooms. The actual number in the classroom will depend on how many people sign up to come, but this is pretty typical of what we're looking at in all our classrooms. If enough people come, some of these may be empty depending how many people choose to come. And I think that's about it. There's hand washing and signs about hand washing, and you can hand wash over at the sink. And I'm going to take you back out into the hallway one more time. And this loop continues on, and there's spaces set up in the music room, same thing for students to work in there. And in this particular loop, you would go through the gym, by the washrooms, if you had to go to the washroom, and all the way back up and around. But there'll be similar loops on the different levels and wings of the school. And I think that gives you an idea of how the school's laid out, and what it's really missing is you. We're really looking forward to having our students back here in the building with us, and hope lots of you come join us in June. See you then. Thanks, everybody.